You are watching EnergyNewsTV.com, your home for fresh energy news delivered daily. This is an Energy News TV special report on the conflict between Israel and Iran, and how this conflict could lead to oil prices soaring to $150 per barrel or more. The recent escalation in military tensions between Israel and Iran is undeniably alarming. However, the repercussions of Israel's actions could extend far beyond what many investors and energy market participants currently anticipate. If the situation continues to intensify, it could lead to significant consequences. A critical factor is the Strait of Hormuz. If Iran were to close this vital shipping route, which accounts for up to 30% of the world's oil supply, we could see oil prices surge to $150 per barrel or even higher. Such a closure would mark a pivotal moment for the global oil market and the economy as a whole, potentially triggering a dramatic rise in oil prices that could surpass previous records. In the event of Israeli strikes targeting Iranian energy infrastructure, like refineries and power plants, Iran could face severe domestic shortages of refined products, power outages, and even temporary halts in oil production. Currently, Iran produces around 3.5 million barrels of crude oil daily, along with more than 700,000 barrels of condensate. Much of this production supports the country's 14 refineries, which operate at a combined capacity of roughly 2 million barrels per day for crude oil and 600,000 barrels for condensate. The extent of any Israeli attack's impact depends on how significantly it disrupts Iran's oil industry. Strikes on minor infrastructure might only lead to temporary reductions of around 300,000 to 450,000 barrels per day. However, targeting Iran's key export facility, Karg Island, could have much more severe and lasting effects. A temporary loss of 1.5 million barrels per day from exports could trigger a noticeable spike in oil prices. While an attack on Karg Island is considered low probability, high impact, it could push Iran to retaliate by closing the Strait of Hormuz, through which over 20 million barrels per day of petroleum liquids flow, with major importers like India, China, Japan, and South Korea relying heavily on this route. While any closure of the strait would likely be temporary, it would prompt shifts to alternative shipping routes. Other regional players, such as Saudi Arabia and the UAE, could reroute significant exports through pipelines, while Oman might benefit due to its export facilities located east of the strait. The biggest losers in this scenario would likely be Iraq, Kuwait, Qatar, and Bahrain, particularly Iraq, which depends heavily on the strait for its oil revenues, which fund 90% of its state budget. Another possible scenario is that Iran might keep the strait open but target foreign vessels in the Gulf, potentially disrupting oil flows by 700,000 to 1.9 million barrels per day. The situation is further complicated by current oil market positioning. After the arms exchange between Iran and Israel in April, oil traders held a net long position of 540,000 futures contracts, which limited price increases. Recently, this positioning fell to just 92,000 lots before recovering to 184,000, but it remains modest compared to historical levels. In summary, the implications of these developments for global energy prices are significant and warrant close monitoring. Thank you for watching EnergyNewsTV.com, your home for fresh energy news delivered daily. Be sure to like and subscribe to our page. Stay tuned for more fresh energy news.